set up. John Malott is the man. Let's give him a tremendous picture, please. Give John Malott a standing ovation. Yes, indeed. Yes. I'm backstage. I said, who is that up in here, up in here? You know, I tell you, his energy, his passion, his love, and his style just resonates with me. And I was backstage just watching him, just mesmerized with his presentation. And that's how you create momentum. Now, my voice is going in and out. I don't know if they needed another battery for this, but we'll check and see. But, John, this is my first time. I said, can somebody else go up next? So when he came backstage, I said, I'm not worthy, John. I'm not worthy. Thou please anoint me. I really, and I mean that sincerely, because people need hope now more than ever before. And the ability to communicate, and to communicate, write this down, communicate from the heart. One of the things that I do is teach and train people how to communicate from the heart. Because when you communicate from the heart, words spoken from the heart, in the heart. Does that make sense? Now, one of the things that I'd like to do is share with you some things that I have learned over the years. I feel that it would be of value and benefit to you right now. This is Dr. Julie Van Putten. She is a powerful speaker, MD, PhD from The Ohio State University. Only 1% of doctors are MD, PhD, and she has both of them. And so I just give her a round of as soon as they can tell me that the in and out programming will be resolved, then I can get into my flow. But in the meantime, while they're working on that, did it go out again? Yeah. You know what? John, where are you? It didn't do that one time while you were here. You know what? I'm going to pray for you, John. I'm going to pray for you. That's my brother from another mother. But I'm glad, because at least I can say, I was going to take him out, but the microphone. There it goes again. Oh my goodness, God. I know he paid the PA guy. I know he paid him off, you know what I mean? Yes, oh boy. So the thumbs up. I have a new microphone coming. Okay, in other words, you got John to leave the thing. Okay, so let me just go ahead on and just ad-lib until they bring up the so-called new microphone. Whatever. I can say about this business, and John hit the key, that it's about relationship marketing. But there's something else that's important. Write this down. Resiliency. Resiliency. One of the biggest challenges you're going to have is being able to get people to hang in there. How many of you know that? Raise your hand. Resiliency. And so when I saw that, mental resiliency is major for this business, because people are not accustomed to being rejected. They're not accustomed to recruiting. They're not accustomed to building an organization. They're not accustomed to reinventing themselves. This is a brand new day. And so part of it, you're going to see when you come out, my son, two of my sons here, Patrick Brown and John Leslie. Raise your hand, John Leslie. Yeah, you. is that this and some of the top people in this industry have said choosing your future, the most powerful presentation that deals with building resiliency. Thank you. Are you a friend of John? Then you're a friend of mine, all right? Yeah. So make sure that you do not leave. You got a limited number of those of choosing your future and 4 stages to greatness. But there's something else. This is called leadership shift, and this is with my kids. How many have children? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Make sure your children listen to choosing your future. In fact, I met some people backstage that I've been listening to you since I was a little kid. Yes, and it's flattering. I enjoy this because, in fact, I've been doing this for many years. You know, I'm 70 years old, and so yeah, thank you. You're not going to believe anything else I say to me earlier on? Yes, I'm 70. And I just turned 70, though, February 17th, 1945. Yeah. And so there's some things that I have learned that I want to share with you. And part of the process of looking at it, I want you to think about your dreams now. What's your dream? What is your dream? Oh, but let me go back up for just a moment, please. I don't dye my hair because I have an allergic reaction, but I do cheat. I use mascara. My kids said, Daddy, you look distinguished with your gray hair. I said, 70, I'm not trying to look distinguished. Strong self-esteem to do this. You understand what I mean? But you're going to need a paintbrush, all right? I got to share this with you. I was speaking at the Georgia Dome before 80,000 people. In fact, I want you to know, I'm not making this up. If you go to lesbrownmotivation.com, write that down, lesbrownmotivation.com, you will see me speaking before 80,000 people. In fact, I'm going to share some techniques and strategies with you that you can use when you are presenting. So at any rate, so at the end of my presentation, someone said, Mr. Brown, our speaker canceled. Do you have enough energy to give another presentation? So John, I said, no. So I walked away and said, we can pay you a full fee. I said, the Lord is able. People say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. A friend of mine named Rita Davenport said money, you know, it's not important, but it's right up there with oxygen. So they took me over to the Georgia World Congress Center, and it was a very intimate setting and people close to the stage. So I looked in, I said, excuse me just a moment, I have to go to the restroom. So I went to the restroom, and I had been sweating a lot. So I had to touch things up a little bit, you know. So when I came inside, what happened was that the lady who wanted everybody to know that she knew me, she said, there he is, Les Brown. And so I came up on the stage, she kissed me on the cheek, I kissed her on the cheek, and left this big black smudge on her face. So I didn't know what to do, so I just sat down. So the people down front started saying, there's something on your face. So she looks at me, she said, what are they saying? I said, I don't know. So finally, John, someone came up, opened up her purse, gave her a mirror. She looked and saw the big black sponge on her face. She said, how did this get here? I said, I don't know, you think maybe this rubs off? I share this with you, now I use waterproof Mademoiselle. A man has got to do what he's got to do. So I want you to think about your goals. How many have some major goals? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I want you to think about your goals in 3 areas. No, John has a spy in the back. It's all right. I want you to think about your goals in 3 areas. I want you to think about your personal goal. What's a personal goal that you like to achieve? I want you to think about that. My first personal goal is to buy my mother a home. I'm adopted. I'm one of 7 children that she adopted. And I wanted to be able to take care of her. I say, Mama, I was 10 years old. When I become a man, you never have to pay another bill. And so at that time I was looking forward to turning 18. And because I admired my mother's courage, her faith, her drive, her determination, a woman single, raising 7 children. She never had any children herself. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. Mama worked on Miami Beach for wealthy families. She cooked for these families, and we ate food left over from the families that she cooked for. She kept their children, and we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that Mama kept. And so she adopted Wesley and I. I have a twin brother, Wesley. And so, which one am I? Of course, I'm the cute one. I'm on the left. And so she adopted Wesley and I. And one of the things that I want to encourage you to do is to continue to work on your mind, mental resiliency. Because there are things that affect us that's in our past that we don't even realize. Winston tastes good like what?
A cigarette should.
You know, people say cigarettes should. That commercial's been on television for 40 years. Television and radio. So what else is in there in your mind that you're not even aware of? I saw a movie one night, Tom Cruise. It was Magnolia. And it said, we might be through with our past, but our past is not through with us. Wow. And so one of the things that I can just share with you unequivocally, and that I did this. How many want to know what works? Raise your hands, please. Yeah. What works is you have to work on your mind. Every day, every seminar, when I think about it, every seminar that I've gone to, every book that I've read, all the lectures that I've heard from dynamic and powerful people like John, all of them contributed to me being the person that I am right now. And so you have to really work on your mind on an ongoing basis. You never get to the place where you know it all. You don't, because there are things that's affecting us every day. We're being bombarded with all type of commercials and billboards, and you're looking at television, you're looking at the news, and all type of things are coming, and you see those little crawls. Everything is coming in and accessing our minds. You go into the service station, you get gas, they got commercials there. You get on the elevator, it's everywhere. We're being pounced on. And so working on your mind is key. And I can tell you the things that I've learned that allowed me to, and I'm going to share with you now, things that allowed me to be able to do some things that I had no idea. And it was very challenging for me because of my beginning. And so one of the keys is communicate from your heart. That gives you the competitive advantage. People are out looking just to get people into their organization, to build organizations. And people can smell commission breath. Did you want to get a commission off them? An override? No. But when you communicate from your heart, it says, I care about you. You ask questions. You show an interest in the people. Am I making sense with this? Yes. Yes, and so you're coming from a different place. And you're able to attract people who ordinarily would not be interested. Because what you want to do is build some powerful relationships with people, and you don't want everybody in your organization. Some people you want to pass on because it doesn't resonate with you and your energy. Does that make sense? And so you're watching and you want to evaluate people. They've got to qualify themselves because you're going to be spending time with those people. And so in building an organization, the process of communicating from the heart, and mine was to buy my mother a home. Because we were raised in a very poor area in Miami, Florida. I was born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother. And when we were 6 weeks of age, we were adopted by Mrs. Mamie Brown. And being raised in this type of environment, one would look at us and say the chances of us getting out of there would be almost impossible because we're in a drug-infested area, very poor, very, very challenging environment. And I wanted to, as a kid, I wanted to be able to take care of my mother. I wanted to buy her a home. I remember when we were working in these big, beautiful mansions, I said, Mama, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home, just like this. How many have somebody special you want to do something for? Raise your hands, please. And I was able to fulfill that. I bought her a home, 10,000 square feet and 12-foot deep swimming pool, basketball court. She couldn't play basketball. I could still though, but I wanted to do that because I could. And I developed a mindset that allowed me to do that. And so mental resilience in expanding your mindset is very important. Now, I've done some tours with Donald Trump. Donald Trump, his father gave him $200 million to pursue his dream. How many of you know if someone gives you $200 million to pursue your dream? My mama gave us 2 pieces of sugar cane. That's what we have, that sugar cane. Anybody ever had sugar cane? Raise your hand, please, all right? Yeah, you're going to go get some sugar cane when I get through, all right? And so, that's what I had to do. I want to ask a question before I move further. If you had to be coached by me or Donald Trump on how to earn your first $1 million, who would you want to teach you how to do that? Yeah. Why? I earned it. I earned it. It was not given to me. I earned it. And the great thing about this business that you're in, and with the kind of leadership that you have with John and other leaders, they're going to teach you the skill set and the mindset that will allow you to earn millions and to be able to impact the lives of thousands and millions of people. And as you think about your goals and dreams, let us say together, it's possible. It's possible. Yes, I want you to think about someone that you want to do something special for. I want you to think about your financial freedom number. You need to be clear what that is. What is that figure for you that once you earn that you'll be financially free? It would alleviate a lot of stress. I can tell you, it's a wonderful feeling not to owe anyone. It's a wonderful feeling. And so I want you to think about what that number is. Next thing is I want you to think about your legacy. The reason I have my children here is because of the fact that we have things that we want to contribute to. One of the packages you have, one of the causes you support, I believe in. My mother was a 22-year breast cancer conqueror. And so I think that Horace Mann had a point when he said that we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. And so I am who I am because of people who took time with me, people who contributed to me. I'll never forget a gentleman, I eulogized him just a few months ago when I first met him. I'll never forget, I was a junior in high school. He said, young man, go to board and work this problem out for me. Oh, sir, I can't do that. Why not? I'm not one of your students. Look at me, yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. I said, I can't, sir. The other students started laughing. I said, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley is smart, but he's DT. He said, what's DT? He's the dumb twin. And the students erupted in laughter. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk. He looked at me. He said, don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And that was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated. But on the other hand, I was liberated because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. And so I learned some strategies and things, and we don't have enough time to go through all of them. But what we will do is go through some areas that will have some benefit for you right now. So one, I said, resiliency, mental resiliency. Being able to take the no's and the rejections, but also being able to expand your mind to do other things. There are things that you can do that you don't even know now. I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. If anybody just told me, I just finished speaking in Switzerland and Germany, in Tokyo, Japan, and 25,000 people in Poland. If anybody told me, given my circumstances, given my beginning, if both my birth parents came in here right now and said, hello, son, I would not know either one of them. If anybody told me that the steps and the processes of things of restructuring your thinking, write this down, restructure your mindset. Because the mindset that we have is a mindset that's been given to us. Be ye not conformed to this world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's an ongoing process that allowed me to be able to earn more in 1 hour than 90% of the Western world earn working for 6 years. And I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you the value of taking the time to listen to things that will begin to restructure your thinking. Most of us are living a life of mediocrity because of the fact that we have so much head trash that we expose ourselves to, that we don't even realize how it affects us and how we show up in life. And so, how many of you know people that you introduced this business to and they said no? Raise your hands, please. Guess why? Because of their head trash. They're suffering from possibility blindness. They can't see what you see. They don't know that 10 years, less than 10 years from now, 1/3 of the jobs, the Ratner reports, 1/3 of the jobs will be gone, replaced by technology, mechanized intelligence, computers. 1/3 of the jobs that people have. And so they don't realize that in order to become successful and to have financial security, you've got to be willing to reinvent yourself. You got to become a different kind of person. You got to die to who you are now to give birth to who you can become. Does that make sense? Yes. And so I'm saying to you, as you work on yourself, things happen for you that you can't even begin to imagine. The other thing is, I'm going to share something with you. You have a story. You have a story. And your ability to tell your story about this business, what attracted you to this business, is key to your success. Your ability to speak from the heart and to share with people why you're here, why you're involved in this. What is it about this that attracted you? What was it? As you think about that, and as you think about that and speak, and I'm going to share with you techniques and strategies, because I'm going to switch now as a speech coach. Write this down. Never make a point without a story, and never tell a story without a point. Never make a point without a story. When I told you about my mascara, I said the reason I told you that because I now use waterproof mascara. Never make a point without a story, and never tell a story without a point. And so what most people do is that they advance on someone and start telling them about how good the product is. Write this down. When you're doing a presentation, one-on-one, small groups, large groups, people are asking 3 questions in their minds. Here's number 1. Who are you? That's number 1. This is why it's important to know how to tell your story succinctly so that you can develop a level of credibility. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? Who are you? People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So now, in that critical point, in that short time, you've got to share with them who you are, what you have, and why they should care in order for them to feel comfortable with you to want to become a part of this. Does that make sense what I'm saying right now? Raise your hand if I'm making sense with you right now. All right, I'm watching the clock, but I want to move faster, so I want to skip through some things. So as you look at yourself, you look at your goals, the ability to share that, can allow you, and something else that John does, and watch him very closely because he's one of the best presenters on the planet. Your ability, I can tell you based upon my own experience, to speaking before small groups, talking to people one-on-one, learning how to communicate from the heart. Trust me on this. It's the most powerful tool you can have. Most powerful tool, because I was involved years ago in Holiday Magic. You don't know that. That's one of the first multi-level marketing organizations. Dare to be Great. Best Line Products. My doing small meetings. My showing up when no one else showed up. My watching a guy named Bob Boyd and other presenters and Bill Bailey. It helped me to grow as a person, and it allowed me to have the key to my own future. When I was in 5th grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. I failed again when I was in the 8th grade. Have no college training, but Mr. Washington, he said to me, Mr. Brown, he said, develop your mind. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Mr. Brown, practice and write this down, OQP. OQP, only quality people. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. This is why you want to qualify people to be in your business, because you don't want everybody. And the other thing he said, Mr. Brown, he said, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. This Les Brown that you now see, this is a Les Brown that been trained. I wanted to learn how I could become a better person, and it was challenging for me. I'll never forget, my brother called me and sister and said, Leslie, we're going to put Mom in a nursing home. Why? She has breast cancer and she can't take care of herself. And I said, no. He said, Leslie, take it easy. We knew you would say that. Listen to me. We have the best nursing home in all of Dade County. I said, no, listen to me. I had a problem. How could one woman raise 7 children who couldn't take care of themselves, but 7 grown people couldn't take care of one woman? You understand what I'm saying? I said, no. I resigned from the Ohio legislature. I was just elected to my 3rd term as chairman of the Human Resource Committee. I'm telling you, how many of you like to make a difference in your community? Raise your hands. Very good. I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world. I became a radio personality, and I'm going to share with you how I used that story to influence and to impact millions of people around the world. And so, write this down. Get a coach. You've got to have somebody in your life who can see what you can't see. Michael Jordan was a championship player, but he didn't win a championship until Phil Jackson came along. Am I right? Muhammad Ali said, I'm the greatest, but he never won a championship without Angelo Dundee. So you got to have somebody in your life who can see what you can't see. And so this guy, this is the reason that you see me now. His name is Mike Williams. Get his book. You can get it on Amazon. The Road to Your Best Stuff. I wrote the foreword to it. He saw me walking down the hall at the radio station, big afro and dashiki, and he said, hey, Brownie. I said, yeah. He said, man, you're more than DJs. Yeah, all right. Let's go. Let's go big, baby, you know. And so this guy, he kept telling me I could be more than a disc jockey. I was #1 at WBKO radio station in Columbus, Ohio, morning personality. And he talked to me about doing other things, speaking to organizations, clubs. I was speaking in prisons and juvenile detention centers. He said, you can speak for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric, IBM. I said, me? Come on, Mike. I don't have any college training. I never worked for a major corporation. He said, Brownie, all of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. You can learn. And so as a result of that relationship, he expanded my vision of myself. I began to promote concerts. That's me standing in the back. And we brought these little guys Good time. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, you have greatness in you. Do that right now. Say, you have greatness in you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea whose hand you just shook. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is it in the heart of mankind what God has in store for that hand that you just shook. And they don't know whose hand they just shook. I didn't know these little guys. I didn't know who they were going to become. And they did not know who I was going to become. That's Michael Jackson standing in front at 10. And so when you think about potential, that you have something special, you have greatness within you. When you're pursuing your greatness, you don't know what your limits are, so you act like you don't have any. And part of being a part of this organization, it's going to challenge you. It's going to stretch you. You're going to discover a part of yourself that you don't know right now. You've got to be willing to die to who you are to give birth to who you can become. And this is hard business. Write this down. H-A-R-D and H-E-A-R-T. Hard. It's hard business. H-A-R-D. All right? And then H-E-A-R-T. I didn't do what I'm doing now for 14 years because I thought it would be hard for me to learn how to dress like the people in corporate America, how to speak the language, to adjust to the culture. I didn't think that I can compete and make myself a credible resource for people with PhDs and MBAs, and I didn't have any of those credentials. And so I didn't do it because it would be hard. Then Mike said, and this is something, write this down, if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. See, a lot of people are going to drop out because it's easy to say, oh, this is some pyramid scheme. It's easy to point out all the shortcomings. It's easy to say, I tried and it didn't work. It's easy. Yeah. And so I was willing to challenge myself. That's a different guy there. Les Brown, elected from the 29th House District, beat a 22-year incumbent. I had no idea. There's more in you than you can ever begin to imagine. But what is your why? I wanted to take care of my mother. And so when I resigned from the Ohio legislature to go to Miami, my brothers and sisters thought I was crazy. Leslie, you've been up there for 18 years. You've just been elected for the 3rd term. They're grooming you to run for the Senate and to Congress in statewide office. You're going to walk away from all of that? What will you do? I said, I will figure it out. Let me share something with you. Don't ask yourself how you're going to do it. Right. How is none of your business. Lean not unto thine own understanding, and all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. There are things that you can do that does not fit within logic and reasoning. I'm telling you. But we've been groomed and trained to believe that. There are talents and abilities you have, I'm telling you what I know, that will baffle you, that you will be amazed. And the only way you to discover that greatness within you is you've got to put yourself in a position where you are outside of your comfort zone. Because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. That's how you discover it. Write this down. You will fail your way to success. You'll fail your way to success. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. Things are going to happen that you can't anticipate. A lot of people stop because of that. No. That's how you discover who you are. And so when you are willing to face the rejections, when you're willing to train yourself, to drill yourself every day, is saying words that's saying you've got something special. You've got greatness within you. I want to ask you a question. Since I've been talking to you now, how many of you feel stronger? Raise your hands, please. And so what happens is that's what I have to do. I listen. Earl Nightingale, come forth. All of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. Jim Rohn, come forth. When the end comes to you, let it find you conquering the new mountain, not sliding down an old one. Winston Churchill, speak to us. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it. Ignorance may deride it, but at the end, there it is. All these voices, I listened to them for years. Howard Thurman. There's something in each and every one of you that waits and listens to the voice of the genuine in yourself. It will be perhaps the only guide you will ever have or hear. And if you cannot hear it, all of your life, your days will be spent on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. And I submit to you that you're here today because you've decided no one is going to pull my string. You're here. You are here today because you are different. One great American said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before the master nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. You're here because you are uncommon in pursuit of your dream and your greatness. Give yourselves a round of applause. What drives you? Nietzsche said if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. There's no accident that you're in this room right now. I know at this stage of my life, every seminar I went to, every workshop, all the things that I heard, they affected me. This moment right now, everything that I'm saying, you already know it. It's a part of who you are. You're not branches of the same tree. We're cut from the same cloth. If it weren't so, you would not be in this room. This is a moment for some of you. Some of you couldn't afford to be here. And then a part of you knew you couldn't afford not to be here. And you showed up. You showed up for yourself. You showed up for your dream. And so, Mama's gone. So these are my kids. As y'all listening to them, the youngest. So they speak, they trade, they're authors. They now run the business. So this is time for me to pass it to them, and then they will pass it on to my grandchildren. I'm a grandfather and a great-grandfather. You have to look into the future and say, what is it that I'm creating? You know, Jacqueline and Ashley said, if I earn all the money in the world and my kids don't amount to anything, what have I done? It's not what you put, it's not what you give your kids, it's what you put in your kids that makes all the difference in the world. Write this down. Create partnerships. I saw Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and I admired him. He wrote the book, The Power of Positive Thinking. I admired him because of his oratorical skills and how he spoke from this diaphragm. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. You have been stopped because of the negative thoughts that you have embraced. You have the power to change that. I never forget, I was backstage in Chicago, and he was up in age, a young guy said, Dr. Peale, how old are you? He said, Sonny, I'm 92. The guy said, I don't know if I want to live to get 92. He said, that's because you've never been 91. Thank you. And so the thing is that, but I wanted to write this down, relationship capital. Relationship capital. This is why you don't want everybody in your business. You want to evaluate them and see if they possess the qualities that you're looking for. You look at them and observe them. And it's amazing when you emphasize and you begin to realize that when you become selective of the kinds of people you surround yourself with, it will affect you. There's something in psychiatry now called relationship illness. There's some people that can make you sick. Well, can I change them? No, it's a full-time job changing yourself. So you've got to ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? What is it doing to me? Am I growing mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually, and financially? What is it doing to me? That's major. I had to change my life. I had to change my relationships in order for me to go where I wanted to go. And it changed my income. I'm telling you, there are a lot of people that will never achieve their goals because they're surrounded by too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. And so you've got to ask yourself, is this relationship working for me? See, the relationship might be working for them, but is it working for you? There are people who are always there when they need you. But when you need them, you can't find them. I want to ask you a question. I want you to be honest. How many of you know, if you had your life to live over again, you could have done more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hand. Very good. Repeat after me, please. Live full.
Live full.
Die empty.
Die empty.
I was dealing with the issue of the little c, that's how I refer to cancer. And the doctors had said that it metastasized to the bone. And I was reading material that I find encouraging. Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Albert Schweitzer, Mahatma Gandhi, brilliant man. He said the ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, but you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never used those talents. You never used those gifts. We never saw your leadership. We never heard your voice. And there they are, standing around your bed, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, we came to you. And only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you died today, what dreams? What ideas? What talents? What books? What art? What music? What voice will die with you? A very good friend just passed recently in a plane crash, Miles Monroe. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. Because there you find potential never realized. There you find dreams never pursued. There you find gifts and abilities that people didn't use because of fear, because of what people thought. Maybe that's why the woman said, what if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That it was wrong. Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived. Only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential. Everybody say again, please. Live full.
Live full.
Die empty.
Die empty.
Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, I'm ready to play a bigger game. I'm ready to play a bigger game. College education, raise your hands, please. Oh, that's over 90%. How many have ever given a lecture at Harvard? Raise your hands. Take someone down on your right and left and say, that's on my list now. That's on my list. Everybody point at me right now. Point at me right now. Say, Les Brown. If you can do it, I can do it.
I can do it.
If when you say, I can do it, I want you to say it with conviction. Point at me again. Say, Les Brown. If you can do it, I can do it. And I see that for you. Now, I want to do one thing. If you don't do anything else, I want you to do this. This is very important. Pull up your right index finger, please. Put it in your ear. Listen to me. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You're in this room because this is your time. This is a breakthrough moment for you. You have the ability to do more than you could ever begin to imagine. There are people waiting for you, waiting to hear your voice. They're part of your spiritual tribe. You have the ability to move and motivate and inspire people to pursue their greatness. This is a new beginning. This is a new day for you. There are $1 million ideas in you that's ready to be birthed. Take your finger up now. The reason I had you to do that, I didn't want it to go in one ear and come out the other. Oh, it's in there now. I'm going to make you rich and there's nothing you can do about it. No? I spoke there 4 times, and I've got a fifth invitation to go there and lecture. And I remember the first time I was so intimidated. And Mike was with me. He said, Les, why are you nervous? I said, I'm at Harvard, man. Mike? He said, Les, they came to see you. You didn't come to see them. That's why it's important to have someone who can see some things in you that you can't see in yourself. And so I've had nationally syndicated television shows. I've won all kind of awards. And how many of you ever heard Toastmasters? Raise your hands. I won their Golden Gavel Award, Toastmasters. Won the highest award for the National Speakers Association. And they select the top 5 speakers in the world. Now I want you to remember those little boys. They're holding the sugar cake. It was General Norman Schwarzkopf and Leon Coker, Robert Schuller, Paul Harvey, and you see that little guy there. They used to hold that sugar cane, you know. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, I'm ready to go big. I'm ready to go big. Why is it that we're not doing it automatically? Because we live in a world where we're told more about our limitations rather than our potential. How many have ever been told what you can't do? Raise your hands first. They did a study, MIT, and the study indicated, if I say to you, John, you can't do that, somebody else has to come along and say, John, you can do it, John, 17 times to neutralize that one time. That's why my favorite book says, faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. To reprogram our mind, to override the viruses that's in our minds that we don't know, that's affecting us every day. Every day. When the doctor looked at me and said, you have cancer. It was the most feared word in 7 different languages. And Dr. Julie Van Putten, when we came out of Florida Hospital, she looked at me, she stopped, and she looked me in the eye. She said, "We're going to beat this." And when she said it, I felt it at the cellular level. My PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen, was 2,400 at that time. And now it's 0. So write this down. Surround yourself with people who see it for you. She saw the healing for me. She spoke. And when she spoke, I felt it and I believed it. And many times people never achieve their goals because they have too much negative energy around them that's buying into the conversations that they hear. No. In fact, I don't believe the doctor should tell people that they're terminally ill. I think what they should say is, "My knowledge and ability to help you has terminated." And now you need to explore some other options. Does that make sense? Yes. Now, so as you look at yourself, look at your goals, put your hand over your heart, put your right hand over your heart, please. Let us say together, "This is my time.
This is my time.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Because I'm responding.
Because I'm responding
to my higher self.
to my higher self.
I have dreams.
I have dreams.
I have things I must do.
I have things I must do.
There's a higher calling on my life.
There's a higher calling on my life.
There are people who believe in me.
There are people who believe in me.
Who are looking to me.
Who are looking to me.
And I believe in myself.
And I believe in myself.
This is my moment.
This is my moment.
There's greatness in me.
There's greatness in me.
I want you to shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, "Bring out the greatness that's in you." Do that right now. I want to share with you the power of a story. The power of a story. Mike said, "Brownie." Yes? You left Ohio. You're down there taking care of your mother. Yes, I admire that. He said, "What's your next move?" I said, "I'm not sure. My brothers and sisters told me I was stupid for doing what I did." He said, "Think, Brownie, think. You always challenge me to think. You want people in your life who will hold you to a higher standard and who will challenge you to think." And he said, "Brownie." I said, "Yes." "You got something, man." I said, "I do? Yeah." So what I asked? "Hey, you got a story." "Why don't you write this down?" "My story." "Yes, your story has value." I said, "What do you mean? How did you get in radio?" I said, "I went. Mr. Washington asked what I wanted to do. I told him I wanted to buy my mother a home. He said, 'How are you going to do that?' I said, I was going to go into radio. I was going to become a disc jockey." He said, "What happened?" "I went to the radio station to apply for a job. What happened?" He said, "Well, the man told me no." He said, "What happened then?" I went back the next day. He said, "Why'd you do that?" Because I was serious. He said, "What happened then?" He told me no. I said, "What'd you do then?" I came back the next day. He said, "The man already told you no twice." I said, "I know, man." I said, "But I was hungry." And he said, "What happened?" He told me no. I said, "Brownie?" He said, "Brownie, that's your story." "That's my story?" "Yeah. All you need to do now, I'm going to show you how you can tell this story." And write this down. And create value and experience for an audience. When you're speaking to someone on the telephone, one-on-one, small groups, the key, as you tell the story about yourself, the key as you tell the story about the company and the products, is to create value for the person that's on the telephone. Create value for them. And so that they can see themselves in the story and take ownership for the story. And so, with the coaching, it changed my life. Everybody repeat after me, please. You got to be hungry.
You gotta be hungry.
Washington said, what do you want to do, young man? Sir, I'd like to buy my mother a home. How do you plan to do that? I'd like to become a disc jockey. He said, you got to be hungry. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, people that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry believe that they can achieve their goals and they work on themselves. Mr. Brown, I said, I'm hungry, Mr. Washington. All my life, people compared me to my brother. Always. And my sister who graduated from the University of Miami. And because it takes me longer to learn things than most people, they always made fun of me. You're the only person that just looked at me as a person. You never called me dumb, you never called me stupid, you always made me feel special. And I believe I can do this. He said, good. He said, I want you to continue to work on your mind. Practice OQP, only quality people. And be conscious of your conversation. Speak from the heart. Be conscious of how you relate to people. I said, yes, sir. And then I came a few weeks later. He said, I've done all I can do for you. It's on you now, Mr. Brown. Go out into the marketplace. I went to WMBM radio station on Miami Beach. Milton Butterball Smith was the program director. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. Young man, you have your journalism in your background? No, sir, I don't, but I practice all the time, and I visualize, and I see myself behind the microphone. Let me audition for you, sir. Let me show you how good I am. All I want is some shots, sir. He said, I'm sorry, we don't have any job for you. How many of you have been rejected? Raise your hands, please. I was devastated with rejection. I went back and I said, Mr. Washington, they said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I went back again. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. I know your name. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir, I was. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir, you did. But then why are you back today? Well, sir, I don't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. No one was laid off or fired. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I was seeing you for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? Yes, sir. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I don't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. No one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Now, don't you come back here again. I came back the next day. Talking loud, looking happy, like I see you for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you? He looked at me with rage. He said, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. My favorite book says, the greatest among you will be your servant. How many of you are serious about reaching your goals? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Write this down. Provide more service than you get paid for. Woo. Provide more service than you get paid for. John was right. It's relationship marketing. Get to know the people. Ask them key questions. Find out their dreams. What is it that motivates them? What is it that keeps them up at night? What is it that excites them? What do they want? Who are they? Let them know who you are. And so I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner. I just try to get my foot in the door to let them know who I was. I wanted to be a go-to person. And then I found out something. When you are willing to give of yourself, when you're willing to give before you ask, people begin to look at you differently. And they begin to trust you. And so one weekend, the disc jockeys came out to the parking lot. Their cars were clean and waxed, inside out. They said, hey, who did this? I did, sir. How much do you charge, young man? Oh, nothing, sir. I just wanted to help out. Wow. He said, look here, Diana Ross and the Supremes are coming to town. The Four Tops and the Temptations. here are my car keys. Pick them up and take them to the Fontainebleau Hotel on Miami Beach, and I'll take care of you. I said, be my pleasure, sir. I would drive these entertainers all over Miami Beach in the disc jockeys, big long Cadillacs. I didn't have any driver's license, but I was driving. Then one day, it was a Saturday afternoon, a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. Rockin' Roger got so drunk he could not complete the show. He began to stumble his words. He was about to fall off the chair. Saturday afternoon, I was the only one there. Looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth. Young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. Gotta go and get him some more if it asks me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was the general manager, and I answered the phone. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, now he must think I'm crazy. I called my mom and my girlfriend Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch and turn on the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the records. Don't you say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get old Rock out of the way. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is me, LB, Triple P. Les Brown, your platter playing Papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, duly qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. People that are hungry, believe, always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that is overcrowded. People that are hungry know if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. People that are hungry understand that you will feel your way to success. People that hungry believe it's possible that they can live their dreams and that it's necessary, it's not an idle wish, and that it's them, and that it's hard, and that it's worth it. You're here because there is something in you that refuses to be denied. Something in you that says, I can do more, I can have more, I can experience more. There's something in you. Others said no. Your heart said yes. Something in you. We can separate those type of people. People raised in the same family, same parents, same circumstances, and end up being dramatically different. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. That's interesting. I believe this is a breakthrough moment for most of you. How many of you feel that for yourself? Raise your hand. Yes. Dr. Julie? Yes. We have up front, there's something I'm going to do. Everyone who gets the program out front, it's called Choose Your Future and Worst Stages to Greatness in John Wesley's program, my leadership with my children. What I'm going to do is make sure you leave your phone number and address
address and email, because there's a program I do called How to Tell Your Story. How many like to learn how to tell your story? Good. Make sure you leave that. It's going to be a webinar. And so I will share with you methods and techniques that I've learned that allow me to earn 7 figures doing what I love to do. How many of you love changing people's lives? Raise your hands. Oh, very good. That's what it requires. See, people think information can do it. If information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. Am I right? You know, stories are powerful. They're powerful. And I had no idea that I would be doing what I'm doing now. But that's my gift, teaching you how to tell your story. And write it down, create an experience. See, you have an energy signature. And you have a spiritual tribe. There are certain people, when I speak, they're going to hear me. But there are certain people, when you speak, they're going to hear you because they're part of your spiritual tribe. Most people don't take the time to invest in themselves. But I was willing to do it because I was hungry. And so, as you think about your goals and dreams, I'd like to leave this with you. I don't know what you want to do. I'm so honored to be able to be on a platform for John, who I consider one of the great motivators on the planet. Give him another round of applause. Come on, you can do better than that. I love and admire you. I'm so glad it's our first time. This is the beginning of a long friendship. Appreciate you. And I love the energy in this room. I like to leave this with you. Don't lose the hunger for new life. It's no accident that you're in this room. Listen to your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. And I like to leave something with you that my mother used to love to hear me say. Leslie, yes, ma'am, Mama. Say that thing for me, boy, that makes me feel good. And I'll see you out front with my kids at the table. And make sure you leave your information so you can be on this webinar. It's going to change your life. Cover a lot of things that I couldn't cover now. But I want to leave this with you, that Mama loved. Say it, Leslie. Yes, ma'am, Mama, I will. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, for all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it. And if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gold, sickness and pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege. God bless you. God bless your dream. God bless America.
Whatever you give, it's going to come back. Now, it might not come back through that channel, but it's going to come back. Why? Because it is a law. Whatever you give, it's going to come back. Now, all of us hear the saying, as you sow, so shall you reap. And we use that in a negative context. But let's look at the positive side of that. That if you sow some good stuff out here, if you make it your business how you give your life, to give the best that you have, to give love, to give encouragement, to give help, to give support. If that's what your life is about, whatever you put out here, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you it's going to come back. Now, the reason that most people don't give is because they operate out of a consciousness of scarcity. They don't believe that there's enough to go around. They can't see themselves having the capacity to give. They don't believe that they have anything to offer. They don't see themselves as an opening for the universe to work through. So if you begin to look at this new era that we're in, begin to see yourself as an opening for the universe to move through, to work through, to make a difference in life. See yourself being used by life to improve the quality of life, to expand and to grow. Most people have a very limited view of themselves and a very limited view of the universe, do not see their relationship to the universe, and cannot see how energy and things can flow through them. I love Gibran and the prophet. Then said a rich man, speak to us of giving. And he answered, you give but little when you give of your possessions, but it's when you give of yourself that you truly give. Gibran goes on to say, there are those who give little of the much which they have, and they give it for recognition, and their hidden desire makes their gifts unwholesome. And we know people who give only to be recognized. I love that old saying, judge a man not by what he does, but by that he doesn't have to do. And to judge the true quality of a man is what he'd do when nobody's looking. Gibran goes on to say something else important. He says, and there are those who have little and give it all. These are the believers in life and the bounty of life. See, most people don't give, ladies and gentlemen, because they don't believe in life. Most people don't give because they don't understand the abundance in life. And so they go through life holding back on life, not understanding this also, that what you hold back from life, life holds back from you. So most of us go through life, ladies and gentlemen, not giving, and we're cheating ourselves, and you're also cheating life. See, I believe that all of us have some work to do. I strongly believe that each one of us showed up to do something, that each one of us showed up to contribute something to life. And that if we don't do it, it will not be done. See, no one is going to give Les Brown's speech. No one is going to write your book. See, if you've been given something to do, and if you don't do it, what you're doing is short-circuiting the flow of the universe. See, just imagine, if you please, we had a circle and people are standing around in this circle. And let's say we were given a bucket of love. And then I pass it to the person to the right, and they pass it to somebody else, 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 and it comes back to me. One of the great things about giving is that as you give, you're going to receive. What we want to do is keep the flow going, keep the flow going. If anybody gets the bucket of love and stops and holds it there, all of us suffer. They've short-circuited the flow. They've stopped what was going on, the energy that was going around. See, you are part of an equation, and you are needed. Part of why we should begin to look at how we give up our lives, that we've got to begin to see, what is it that I'm supposed to do? What is my life work? And then give ourselves to that. Because as we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you, as you begin to take on this new era that we're in, if you decide that I'm going to begin to start living life generously, I'm going to start giving more of myself, I'm going to start putting out more, contributing more to life, here's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you that life will take on a whole new meaning for you. I guarantee you that as you begin to give more of yourself in your work, give more of yourself in your marriage, give more of yourself in your relationships with your families and friends, give more of yourself to your talent, to your vocation, to your job or your business, as you begin to set high standards for giving that which you have been given to share in the universe, I guarantee you that life takes on a whole new dimension, that you'll be happier. You have a greater sense of happiness and fulfillment in life. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to have some challenges. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have some problems that you'll be dealing with on a day-to-day basis. No, that doesn't mean any of that. No, that will not exempt you from that. But what it does mean that now you will begin to take off on some new paths to some newer horizons, that you'll begin to see life totally different than most people. I think that's what Henry David Thoreau meant when he said most men live in quiet desperation. That most of us go through life because we're not using that which we've been given, that we are punished, that we're going through life getting up in the morning with no reason to get up. See, once you find out your purpose in life, and once you decide that you're going to live a life of sharing and giving and contributing to life, you don't need an alarm clock to get up. That you move differently. You have more life in you. But most people are walking around dead. Most people are looking lifeless. Most people find it a hard effort to smile. Most people are abusing themselves with alcohol and drugs and evading their own greatness and holding back on themselves. For years, I was cheating myself. For years, I could have been doing exactly what I'm doing right now. But I was afraid. I didn't feel I was worthy, and I didn't want to recognize that which I had been given. I had a limited view of me, and I was literally running away from me. I mean, life sometimes chases me. I say, no, we want you to do something great. No, not me. Go get somebody else. No, you're not talking about me. No. You don't know what I've been doing. No. We want you. We can just groom you and train you and get you ready. Me, yeah. Are you sure? Me, yeah. No, not me. No, I'm just down. No, I don't want to do that, see. And then so I just get tired of chase. Say, come over here. Come over here. You ain't got enough sense to come. Just come over and shut up and straighten up. They just whip you so hard after a while, you say, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons that we should begin to give more is because we owe a debt. Reading a book, John Powell. Well, I'm afraid to tell you who I am because you might not like me, and that's all I've got. A line in there I love to quote, we are made by those who love us and by those who refuse to love us. As I talk to you right now, you're looking at a lot of people up here, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just Les Brown standing here. A lot of people have contributed to make me who I am right now. None of us are here because of our own doing. All of us have had life to contribute to us. Many times complete strangers. So we all have cookie people in our lives. What do you mean by cookie people? Cookie people and chicken soup people, as I call them when I do my workshops. Cookie people are people like Miss Lillian. When my mother used to whip me as a kid, and I was a bad twin, always getting in trouble, Miss Lillian would hear me screaming, and after Mama would get through, Miss Lillian would come over to the house and give me some cookies and milk. And my mama said, what you doing back there, Lillian? I'm just giving him some cookies, Mamie. And she said, here you are, Leslie. Even though you're a bad little boy, I brought you some cookies. So cookie people are people who, even when you are bad, even when you are not being who you really are, they look beyond your faults and see your needs. Even if you're a moody person and curse them out and dog them out sometimes, these cookie people love you unconditionally. How many of you have ever had cookie people in your life? All right. So we all have had cookie people that the universe has put in our lives to contribute to us. The other people are the chicken soup people. Chicken soup people are people that you can call at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, I got a flat tire, will you come help me? Or my battery is not running, would you come give me a jump? Or I need some help, would you come get me out of jail? If you don't have some chicken soup people in your life, you better get some. But these are people that you can always call on to help you out. So I'm encouraging you to give a letter of appreciation to some of the cookie people in your life. Some of them might have already made their transition. Write some letters to some people who were a leg up for you, some people who contributed to you being who you are. And just say, I was just thinking over the years, I know you know I love you and appreciate everything you've been to me, but I just wanted to drop you this letter. How do you think they'll feel if they get that? Just out of nowhere, just want to thank you for how you have enriched my life. You might not have thought much of it, but because of the help and assistance you gave me on that particular day, that was a turning point in my life. Why should we give? Well, giving creates a vacuum. And as we know, nature abhors a vacuum. See, when you give, you create a vacuum, you are now in a position to receive. See, if I have my arms closed holding on to everything I've got, nothing is available to come in. But if I'm open, if I've created a vacuum there, by giving, and keeping the flow going, the stuff in the universe is going to come back to me, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to come back. Whatever you give. Whenever I go into a room and give a speech to inspire people, to help them to develop their greatness, if you get 10% of what I get, because as Bach says, we teach that which we need most. I'm not wearing any crown. I need it as much as I'm sharing it. I'm still growing. I'm still unfolding. I'm still seeking to discover my greatness. And if you get 10% of what I get when I walk out of here, see, there will be a different man walking out of here than who came in here. And as I give, the more I give to you, the more I get. Most people don't understand that. That's a law of life. Do you know that we can literally eliminate poverty overnight? We can eliminate hunger and homelessness overnight if people understood the concept of what giving means and the power in it, about the difference that it can make in our lives. I guarantee, if you go to any rundown neighborhood and interview the people there, evaluate their lifestyles and what they're doing and what they're contributing to life, and then go in a wealthy neighborhood and talk to those people and evaluate them and check out what they're doing with their energy and their time and what they're contributing to life. Here's what you're going to discover, what Earl Nightingale said. He said, our success in life is directly related to the quantity and the quality of the service that we give. I guarantee you that you will find that people who have more, people that are living the abundant life, are the contributors to life, ladies and gentlemen. They are the people that are giving more. And the people who are operating out of scarcity and poverty consciousness, these are the people that are down and out. These are the people that are complaining. These are the people that are blaming the world and everybody for where they are. But if they took that same energy and begin to invest and give something back to life. I was in New Jersey, and I had to give a political presentation to a group there that were trying to organize a community to begin to revitalize that particular community. And the guy was telling me very proudly as we were walking through a housing project, he said, the city is about to give $55 million to renovate these housing projects. I said, what a waste. He said, why would you say that? I said, let me ask you something. And the person that was standing next to him, I said, do you live in this building here? He said, yes. I said, how many families live here? He said, 6 families. I said, we walked in the door and we can smell the stench of urine. Does it take a genius to go down to the store and perhaps sacrifice buying 3 packs of cigarettes and buy some Tide or soap and water and come back here and wash this stench out of here? Does it take a genius to get a can of paint and paint over the graffiti and repair the mailbox? Does it take a genius for that? I say to you, you pour the money in these housing projects and you don't change the people that are living in the projects, before you are completed, they'll be right back to where they were before. If it is to stand, and I'm not saying that there aren't situations where people need some help and assistance, but people must be allowed to contribute. I say they should pay for the paint. I say they should pay for the mailboxes to be repaired and the windows to be broken. And I guarantee if the children go outside throwing a ball, they say, don't you hit that window, you fool. You know how much I paid for that window? Makes a difference. People need to be given the opportunity to contribute and invest in life. And then life is appreciated. But if we just give, and you don't want to just give, you want to give to people who are out there struggling and making it and trying to make impact on the universe. I'd rather give to a man who's already doing it than somebody over here doing nothing and try and go over there. Man, why don't you get up and do something? Hey, listen, if you have to go over there and get them up, you have to do that for the rest of your life. So do it with those who are doing it. So you want to keep the flow going by working with people who are contributors to life. Leave the dead people alone that are taking away from life. There's a scripture, when I heard it, I couldn't understand it. I say, how cold? He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has shall be taken away. I said, now that's not fair. Ladies and gentlemen, that is fair. He that hath what becomes the key? He that hath a generous view of life. He that hath initiative. He that hath resourcefulness shall get. But if you're like the guy that I was in a hotel and asked him, I said, look here. I said, he was a bellman. I said, I need to get my shoes shined. Oh, I don't shine shoes. Oh, how long have you been working here? Oh, about 3 months. What were you doing before then? Oh, I just got out of the joint. Yeah? You don't shine shoes. That's beneath you, but it was okay to steal. That's not beneath you, huh? See, another guy, was ex-offender, I was telling him I had a job for him. What kind is it? What do you care? Making an honest living, not worried about somebody knocking on your door in the middle of the night. If it's cleaning toilets, you ought to be happy. See, he's a taker, ladies and gentlemen. He thinks that somebody's just going to come give him something out here in life. It doesn't happen that way. No, it doesn't happen that way. Here's something else you're going to discover in giving. Something that's very important. Give thanks. Giving thanks creates power. Give thanks for your house. Give thanks for your apartment, for your car, for your family, for your health, for your relationships, for what you have. When we focus on something, it expands. When you're giving thanks, when you're showing a spirit of gratitude for what I got, not that you're satisfied with it, but you're grateful for what you got. Whatever you focus on, that's what you're going to continue to multiply and expand in your life. But if you focus on what you don't have, if all you can do is point out the negative things in your life, whatever you focus on, you're going to expand that. Some people, all they can do is complain. That's all they can do. They can't find anything to say good about life and about anybody else. Every time they open their mouths, that's what their minds are consumed with, and that's all they're producing in their lives. And these are people that you don't want to be around. Develop a spirit of gratitude. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful to be an American. I'm thankful to be on this part of the planet. I'm thankful to see another day. No, things aren't what I want them to be. No, I don't have all the things I want to have. But I'm thankful that I'm still here. I have another opportunity, another day to live, another chance to contribute, another chance to make a difference in life. So begin to give thanks for what you have. Whatever you focus on. Remember now, you want to become aligned with the universe. If you have scarcity in your life, it's because you have a consciousness of scarcity. As you begin to become thankful for what you have, for the abundance that you now know is coming your way, that you're attracting to you, for the good relationship that is coming your way right now, it will begin to create incredible opportunities for you to begin to improve your life and the quality of life of people around you. Giving is also, ladies and gentlemen, forgiving. Give forgiveness. Many of us do not realize that we cannot grow, that we are blocking ourselves, we are blocking our good in the universe. We're literally standing in the way of the flow of what life has to us because we haven't learned how to forgive. We haven't learned how to let things go so we can get on with our lives. When we forgive, ladies and gentlemen, it's not for the other person. Oh, no. It's for you. It's not for them, not because they deserved it or they earned it. You're forgiving other people. First of all, you've got to forgive yourself. But when you forgive other people, it is mentally and spiritually healthy to forgive. To let that luggage go, as Paul said, forgetting those things which are behind, reaching forth unto those things which are before. Oh, we hear it, but it's hard to do. It's hard. What you have is enough. Whatever you have to give. And the more you give, the more you realize you have to give. And we all have to. There are people who made the supreme sacrifice for us to enjoy freedoms that we take for granted. Oh, none of us can feel that we have nothing to give back. Next thing is, giving empowers you. It makes you more powerful. See, the more you give to life, the more you're able to get from life. See, most of us go through life, ladies and gentlemen, feeling that we don't have enough to share, feeling that we will be depleted if we give of our resources because we don't see ourselves connected to the abundance of life. I feel very strongly that we can make an incredible difference in life. Phyllis Marx said, giving empowers you because taken to its ultimate, what you are really giving is love. Love is the motivating force behind the infinite supply of universal energy. Love truly makes the world go round. And as with anything circular, it's keep coming back. Phyllis is right. So as she continues to give love and hope to these people, she receives love and hope for herself and helping to begin to restructure and redesign the kind of life that she wants. We all have had experiences in our lives that if we permit these experiences to do so, we will allow them to weigh us down. If we permit them to do so, they will be luggage that will be dragging through life, holding us down, stifling our potential to give and to contribute in life. If we continue to carry all of these things, we can never be open to the love and the abundance and the opportunity that life has to offer us because we are so full with what we've got. I'm thinking about an exhibition that was held in Africa where they were trying to catch some monkeys that were a very rare species. And because they were so fast, so agile, and very fragile, they did not want to harm them in catching them. They did not want to hurt them physically. So what they did in order to catch them, they found that these monkeys were very fond of a certain kind of nut that grew in that particular area of Africa. And what they did was that they put these nuts inside of bottles and put a rope on the bottle and held the rope from a distance. And so the monkeys would come and, being curious, see the nuts inside the bottle, would reach in and pick the nuts up. Now, what happened was that they couldn't pull their hands out with the nuts still in the bottle. And so then the exhibitioners, the hunters, would come while the monkeys are there just jumping around. All they have to do now is let the nuts go. That's all they got to do is they're just dancing all around. All they have to do is let it go and they can be free and run. They hold it on to the nuts and the people come and catch them. And a lot of us, that life is kicking our butt. And all we have to do, is let it go. We just keep holding on like we crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, giving creates energy in ourselves and in others. Have you ever helped a blind person go across the street? Or help a senior citizen? Or give somebody some help? Held the door for somebody, an elevator? I mean, don't you have a good feeling inside like, I done good? How many of you get a good feeling inside when you do something good for somebody? See, we're really giving to ourselves. See, that's really the law. When you are giving to yourself. That's who you're giving to. So you want to give yourself some good gifts. There's a principle underlying the concept of giving. The energy flowing through us as we do, that love generates abundance in our lives, and we are able to reap so much from life as a result of our giving. How are you giving up your life? Do you know, to the degree that you are giving, to that degree determines how much you enjoy life, how meaningful your life is. There are things, ladies and gentlemen, I used to do I can't do now. That is unbecoming for the role that I have selected with where I am at my life and what I want to contribute to life. It is inconsistent. I can't do it. Even if I desire to do it, I can't do it. No, because it doesn't fit, because of my vision of myself and the contribution that I want to make to life. Because it's not enough to give the message, you must also be the message. Next thing is that we must give out of a sense of oughtness. Immanuel Kant, in a book called Critique of Pure Reasoning, he says sometimes we must give out of a sense of oughtness, that certain things that happen, that we just say something ought to be done about this. A policeman in Washington, D.C. was working one of his patrol areas, and he came up to a car in a park. And the car was running. And he saw a figure slumped over the steering wheel. He got there looking in with a flashlight. And he saw a 14-year-old boy with a bullet through the back of his head. And he said, oh no, he has a son himself. That could have been his son. And he said, something ought to be done. We're losing too many young people. And so this man Went home. He had like several $1,000s worth of exercise equipment in his basement. He rented a place. He started bringing the kids in to get them involved in taking care of their bodies and physical exercise and athletic activity. He now has expanded that to getting them involved in entrepreneurial ventures, saying that this is a free enterprise system, and the more enterprising you are, the freer you are. And now these kids have started their own business. They have a little shopping center that they run, they operate, they are managing. And they have commercials on radio, and I'm going to be going there doing some training with them. So he decided, because of that event, that I ought to do something. Now, some of the things that's going to happen when you look out and see what can I contribute to, what can I give, I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have a voice that's saying, it's just no use. It's out of control now. There will be a voice telling you that you'll be wasting your time and wasting your energy and wasting your effort. I say, don't listen to it. Listen to that still small voice that says, I can do something, and I ought to do it. We ought to do it. Disraeli said this. Nothing can resist the will of a people that will stake even their existence on the extent of their purpose for good. I strongly believe that as we begin to look toward the future, and that as each day we get up in the morning, and be it that you're going to give to make the environment safer for everybody on the planet, be it that you're going to do things to help the sick or the physically disabled or recovering crack cocaine addicts, be it that you want to help and contribute to youth or do something for the homeless, whatever you want to do, if you get up in the morning out of a sense of oughtness and decide that I am an opening for the universe, that life can work through and use me as a channel and as an instrument for change. And each day we get up, we make it our personal business to make a difference in those areas that we're concerned about. How are we going to do it? We don't know. But we know that we can make a difference. And we might not be here to see the results of our efforts. We might not be here as many of the people who before us made sacrifices that they did not live to see or reap the benefits of. James Weldon Johnson, stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers died. We've come over a way that with tears has been watered. We've come treading a path through the blood of the slaughtered. When we came here, somebody paid the price for us to be here. And as we begin to look toward the future, we all have an obligation to give something back. A lot of us don't give more because of the fact that we allow ego to get in the way. I'm thinking of a man that was well-dressed, walking through a neighborhood one day. And a lady came to the door, and she said, "Hey, you." He stopped, he said very politely, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Come here." He came to her. "Yes, what may I do for you, ma'am?" She said, "I want you to cut my wood." He said, "Yes, ma'am." He took his coat off, and he took the axe that she had there, and he cut the wood. She said, "I want you to take some around the back and put some in the fireplace." He said, "Yes, ma'am." And he did that. And after he finished, she said, "What do I owe you?" He said, "Nothing, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you." She said, "Okay." And he left, and he was walking down the street with his coat over his shoulder. And her maid came up. She said, "Do you know who that was?" And the lady she worked for said, "No." She says, "That's the great Negro educator, Booker T. Washington." She looked out the window. She said, "Is that right?" She said, "Send for him." And that lady that Booker T. Washington went in and cut the wood for contributed several $1 million to his dream of building an institution of higher learning, Tuskegee Institute, that is standing today. What if he had said, You said do what? Cut your wood. Don't even come up in here with that kind of stuff. You better cut your own wood if you wanted to get it cut. You cold. He didn't allow his ego to get in the way. He gave what he had. He contributed. How much have we denied ourselves? How much have we blocked ourselves because we allow that little ego to get in the way, to prevent us from giving and serving, which is the essence of life. Which is the essence of life. It's about service. And so I say, as you look out on the future, decide that you are going to allow your life to be a life of service. Decide that you are going to give more than you have ever given before. Decide that each day that you are given life, that you're going to make a difference with your life, that you're going to make a statement with your life, that once again, as opposed to sitting back feeling like a victim, that you're going to see yourself as a channel, as an opening for the universe to work through. And that you'll say to life, use me. Oh, use me. I got more to give. Use me. Repeat after me. I want life to use me. I want to give more. Share more. Be an expression of love. Be an instrument of hope. To impact our youth. To recreate their future. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for being here. I'm grateful to be able to serve. This is Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, Leslie Calvin Brown, saying, it's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. Thank y'all here. Thank you.